Well, it's finally happened. Lost Ark has been knocked off the top of the Steam player charts and replaced by Elden Ring, not just by a little bit either, by a massive margin, even falling below Counter-Strike. And of course, all of the other games at the top of the Steam player charts are free to play, whereas Elden Ring is a full-price game, so this is no mean feat at all. In fact, Elden Ring's numbers keep going up day by day. So anything about this game could be too difficult and scare people off is certainly not the case. If anything, it seems to be attracting them. And I think one thing we can gather from this is that Elden Ring will definitely have sequels. But what happened to Lost Ark? Why did it lose its place? Is it just because people got to the end, got bored, realized it was pay to win? Or did the queues get to them? And no, it turns out that a significant part of those numbers was actually fake. That's how we get this news. Lost Ark is banning over 1 million accounts for using bots. That's no ban wave, that's a ban tsunami, as PC Gamer says here. But the interesting part is how it doesn't really show in their numbers. You go back here, yeah, we're up at over the 900,000s in sort of 930, 962. Then there's a big drop on the 1st of March down to 856. And then after the actual news that they were going to ban all the bot accounts and they took the servers offline, suddenly we go down to 760. So we only lost 60,000 concurrent players after banning 1 million plus accounts. And I think the reason for that is obvious. Lost Ark had server troubles, massive server issues, no one could get in to play them. So when you actually remove all of the bot accounts, you don't really drop the players, it's just now they can actually play the game rather than queue up for it. And a lot of people that actually wanted to play it can now get in for the first time ever. And so they kind of replace all of those numbers and you just see a small loss. In fact, if you go to the end, what you'll see is the numbers have gone back up. Now it is for a weekend, it's kind of expected. But it still shows that a lot of people want to play this game and they just couldn't. Of course, the other explanation is these could just be more bots remaking all their accounts, and we'll probably never know. But people were very happy because, well, we got the Lost Ark team saying we've made crafting tools and methods to identify bots from the game. But there's a load of people going, no, the queues are actually fixed. 8k on Thyrain at peak times normally, but now we're down under 950. Same here on Kaiden, from 50 to 20,000, just down to 5 to 10,000. Hopefully, after the bots removed, no more queue. Is it a veil? Bots occupy more space than actual players, I imagine. It seems like that's not the case, but I think we'll find that out in the long term, especially if their new bot tools prove to be effective. Because one thing that we found out with Lost Ark is the bots were really negatively affecting it, mainly because Amazon can't even increase the actual player count. It was just stuck. It's not like they could add more servers and make room for the bots or at least the players that are actually there. So this is actually massive, because if you're stuck at a player count, it's kind of important that those are actual people. And that's how you get things like this, bots warping all over the place from NPC to NPC. One thing about bots is they are incredibly easy to detect. They just repeat the same stuff. And yet they're a problem in every single game. Anything where they can make money, there's a reason for them to avoid any of the detection methods. But it turns out, seems like Lost Ark didn't really have any, which is kind of a problem when your servers are completely full of them. And it makes me laugh because Elden Ring has cheat protection, even though it's a single-player game, that stops me using things like a field of view mod or enabling it to be shown on an ultra-wide monitor. That's the kind of protection that they've got on a game that's all just basically single-player PvE. And then you've got Lost Ark, who has things like this going on and didn't even have any way of dealing with it, let alone actually the ability to add servers. All in all, I think this kind of stuff really goes to show that the developers, and admittedly Amazon didn't develop it, but if anything, considering it's been out years, these tools should have already been in existence, because the game already must have known they were a problem. And when you've got that kind of thing, it really does show that developers, when they make a game, don't think ahead to the obvious problems that will be the cause of it. Look, I think anyone, when you're making an MMO, knows that bots are going to be a problem, and you should have a way to expand the servers when you've got queues. And yet they either didn't think of it, didn't plan for it, or didn't do it effectively. I can understand not having enough servers, but you should, at a minimum, be able to scale your game to be able to handle the amount of players that it needs, and they didn't. And the thing is, this news was released 18 hours ago, at about 10 PM on a Friday evening my time, sort of the dead hours of the night where they just release anything that they really don't want to be brought too much attention to because all of the press have gone home. Because while banning over 1 million bot accounts is indeed something to be pleased with, it's not exactly something to brag about that you let it to get into that state in the first place, and so they released it and hoped no one would talk about it. When you do tactics like that, it makes me wonder why you don't want to draw attention to the fact that you had this bot problem to begin with. Maybe you think it'll come back. Maybe you realize you can't actually handle the queue problem, and quite scared that actually this game might go exactly the same way that New World did. It's going to be really interesting to see how Lost Ark continues to handle their queuing problem and bot problem, because they're going to need to, or they could very well repeat history just like they did with New World. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe, more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.